Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome back to Dames and Dorks on Thursday. How is everyone doing today? Today we got a pretty good show lined up to you guys. We have our special guest, Jason Sandberg. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. Hey, by process of elimination, am I a dork now? Because
Yes.
I just want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
right.
2024. If
That's how
you
it
want to
goes.
be a dame, you
Well,
can.
You were a dork before you came here. Just
Oh,
saying.
Sevvy, that's right. You and I,
Honest.
you and I are regulars in the Common Nerd. So yeah, you do know that I'm a total dork. So it is fantastic to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad that you reached out and said that, like, hey, like, I have some things. I was like, no, I love Jason. Like, I would love for him to hang out and tell us more about his projects and, you know, current topics that's going on in the box office. So I was like, yes, he's a welcome guest here.
Thank you.
I don't know Jason, so I don't love him, but I'm willing to get to know you to find out if I do have the feels for you. I can't wait to learn more about you.
Thank you. I hope to not disappoint.
Well,
me too,
buckaroo.
but clock's ticking. So
yeah, well, buckle up, Tabitha. You're in for a good treat. That's all I can say.
Okay.
So before we continue, we got Dr. Rachel in the house tonight. How are you, Dr. Rachel?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy week. Fighting with my bank, all life stuff getting in the way. So nice to just chill with you dames and you dorks and you dorky dames. Just talking about whatever else is going on outside of my life in the entertainment business.
Well, you're here to get a refresher of like going a little numb in your mind, but get the entertainment that you need.
Is that what this show does? Make people numb in the mind?
Well, it kind of like, well, at least get away from like politics, you know, give you a little refresher. Like you get your $3 refresher drinks at Starbucks.
At Starbucks.
Not sponsored, but would like to be.
Starbucks.
You're a mid-apocalyptic palate cleanser.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we're here to give you that. We got Dreaming Tabitha sitting in today. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Fighting off a headache because I didn't have coffee today. And I realized scandalous, I know.
Should have gone to Starbucks.
Should have gone to Starbucks. Actually, I went to Café de Paris down the street. I just decided to try it out. And instead of getting coffee, I got a strawberry milkshake because it was bloody hot outside. And I should have got the coffee.
I know milkshake would be better in the heat.
Yeah, but it was nice. No, I am doing fantabulosely. I just finished a 7-hour art project yesterday, and so it's nice to have a break today and then get back on the horse tomorrow.
Dang, so how far along are you? Like, what's the progress on this? Or are you just keeping it a secret?
Well, so I am doing it's supposed to be a summer art challenge. I'm a little bit behind schedule, but moving things along. So basically I reached out to a bunch of other YouTubers and said, hey, can you join me in this where you get to tell me what you want for me to create? You get to pick the topic, you pick the medium, and you get to pick the time frame. So they gave me either 2, 6, or 8 hours to complete a project in one go. So I have finished 1 or 2 different 8-hour projects and gonna get working on the 6-hour project that's coming up. And I'm excited. So far things are going, and I'm gonna be releasing those videos here soon on my channel.
Ooh, can't wait to see. Can't wait to see for sure. And we got Smu the DJ on the panel. What's going on, Smu?
Not much. Just got my trusty old coffee mug here, and I'm ready to talk about all the stuff that we got. It's gonna be good.
Unlike Tabitha, Smu has coffee.
I have coffee. It's right here. I just didn't have.
I mean, it's 2 a.m., but still, it's always time for coffee.
Oh boy. Always time for coffee.
Wow.
Always.
I haven't had coffee. I'm actually cutting back a lot. I've been getting a lot of headaches. So I was like, oh, coffee would be the one to send me to get headaches. But I'm doing pretty good, though. I'm surviving. But we have Sevvy here on the panel with her avocado bowl. How are you doing, Sevvy?
I am good. I showed the panel my food. It has cucumbers, it has black beans, it has avocado, cheese, and spinach, and I got to choose the bowl myself, so I'm enjoying my dinner here. Very excited to be here. I haven't seen you in a while. Can't wait to see what your comics are up to, and can't wait to see Tabitha's new artwork. I think that should be fun.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some new Moon Skull artwork in the future. I'm just a little bit busy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go on, we also want to acknowledge the chat. We got Tracy Reeves. Nice to see you here. Americas. Oh, you're so
Yes.
funny, Americas. I love to see you here. And Retro Collective. I
Retro.
got to game with him a couple of days ago, and he's such a nice guy. It's
Mhm.
cool to get to
Yes.
know him a little bit. And we got some Gravy D here. Nice to see you, Gravy D.
Yo, gravy.
Yes, and then like Tabitha being the great friend that she is, hit the like button, give a subscribe, and if you don't mind, at the end of the show, leave a comment because it helps the algorithm builds up a little bit and
does.
gets
Mhm.
people watching the show. And we get to have Jason talk more about it and get people known because we want Jason to be known in this sphere because he has a pretty good project that we will talk later on at the end, almost at the 30-minute mark before the show ends. Jason will have the floor talking about his project.
Let's
So-
make him more popular than Jesus tonight.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's pretty big.
That's really big.
Wow, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
tall order.
Hey, they say you need, as my uncle always says, shoot for the moon, and if you fail, you'll land among the stars. So maybe we can't quite get you Jesus tier, but we could get you a disciple or two. Maybe we'll try.
Maybe.
Was that your uncle?
Yeah.
He's echoing Casey Kasem, who is keep your feet on the ground but keep reaching for the stars.
Let's see. There you go.
Nice.
Fair.
Oh, and we got Moss in the chat.
Moss.
Nice to see you, Moss. Love
Hey,
to
Moss.
see you here hanging out.
Thank you, Moss.
But yeah,
Mhm.
we're going to go ahead and go to our first topic. And the first topic this day would be Deadpool coming across to the billion mark almost.
Shocking.
Lot
Huh?
of money.
Very shocking.
That is a lot of money.
Mhm.
That show was amazing. I wonder how much money they actually spent on the movie, just gonna have it in perspective. But that movie had me laughing the entire time. I'm not saying it was the greatest movie ever. I'm just saying it was hilarious.
Allegedly, it had a budget of 200 million. Allegedly. So they're
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
they're gonna make a lot of money if that's true.
Given
Mhm.
all the cameos, I'm surprised it was that little. I really
Yeah.
am.
I mean, you have that little budget joke with a certain cameo in that movie, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we had to cut
Mhm.
him out quickly because budget. That
Mhm.
made me laugh so much.
that was
Yeah,
probably the
but-
most expensive cameo of that movie, apart from the top billing stars, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they had a lot of cameos. I remember I was watching some YouTube chats. They were going like cameos by cameos. Even the people in the background that you didn't even see, they're like, "Oh
Olivia
my god!"
Munn.
Like, yeah. So it's like everybody like they really spent a lot of time getting people to do cameos. They
Mhm.
didn't just like completely grab people off the street. So that was pretty cool.
yeah,
It kind of
Yeah.
gave me the feels for like WandaVision when they had the guy that was playing her what
Brother?
was his name?
Brother? Quicksilver?
Yeah,
Quicksilver,
Quicksilver.
brother.
Mhm. Yeah, Quicksilver. And they had the original Quicksilver from X-Men show
Mhm.
up. So it kind of
Mhm.
gave me like those feels to it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the Fox universe or the Fox movies back in the day, you definitely get your money's worth with that movie. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Especially like the late 90s and early 2000s. You're in for a treat if you haven't watched it. So if you haven't watched it yet, do yourselves a favor and do watch it. If you're on the fence about it because it's a Disney movie, I can understand that, but it's definitely one of those movies you can actually support guilt free because it's actually a pretty solid movie. It has its problems, sure, but it's
Mhm.
far more entertaining than the last few MCU movies that came out right before that.
Oh,
That's for
hands
sure.
down.
Agreed.
And
The
they
funny-
made fun of Disney so much. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, I was just saying the funny thing about it is like when you look at movies like this, I just do not instantly think Disney. Right? There's
Mhm.
been a lot of
Mhm.
the Marvel movies that have been made, and they're like, yeah, it's made by Disney. But for some reason, when this came out, I had to like remind myself that
Mhm.
it's a Disney product. It's kind of like it just doesn't register. Like some things just never will be for me, like identified as Disney. It's kind of like the original Star Wars trilogy. It will never be Disney to me. It's just
Yeah.
Star
It fe-
Wars.
It
The
feels
new-
like an
The
anomaly.
new stuff is Disney Star Wars. Like it's like hands down.
Mhm.
It's just for some reason, even though they're technically part of the same franchise, owned by the same company, it's like it just like so Deadpool Wolverine. It just does not hit me like when you guys are saying that. I have to remind myself it's a Disney part of the Disney franchise.
So you've seen it already, Tabitha, then?
I have not.
Oh, you have not? Okay.
Well, she's waiting
No.
for the friendly
Wow.
cut.
Yeah,
Don't-
Tabitha's gonna wait about 17 years and then find it on YouTube and with all the cuss words replaced with like douche or jerk. That's how Tabitha's gonna watch it.
I can get a copy of the movie once it's out completely, so I can make you an edit. And then
Oh.
send it to you.
I had a friend do that
Wow.
for me once. Was it Silent Night or whatever that was that came out? X-Wing came out, and somebody we're gonna review the movie, and so they had a copy of it somehow, and then just did voice work over all the bad words for me, and it was hilarious.
Okay,
It's almost
okay,
like
that's pretty
watching
funny.
one of those poured like those old Chinese movies where they're still talking, and it's like, I don't know.
It's like these Eastern European dubs from movies, and they just talk over the
Yeah.
characters, even though the character's not talking anymore. They
So I mean, like,
keep on
I
talking.
would love to see Deadpool and Wolverine. Big Wolverine fan, and Ryan Reynolds fan, of course. And I love a good superhero movie. It's just for personal reasons. I just
It
don't.
definitely has a lot of swearing and
It's
inappropriate.
120
Mhm.
F-bombs. It's a little
Yeah.
much for Tabitha.
I think the
Just a little.
the TV cut for Goodfellas, I think is 20 minutes shorter than the theatrical release. That's just
That is
Goodfellas.
true. Yeah. Hmm.
So I think what bodes well for this movie is that there's a lot of people that I hear around me that that haven't seen it, that want to see it. I'm included in that. So I think that the success is going to be sustained. I think there's going to be a wave of people who go back and see it again, and then there's going to be people that are still going to see it in the coming weeks. So I'm curious to see where it lands, but it's very impressive.
I think the word of mouth will carry it for a little longer because you usually have this trend of MCU movies currently dropping off very quickly, like let's say 60 or 70% drop off after like the second week or something like that. But considering how fast it's tracking to 1 billion, it seems like there's a very good word of mouth going on with this movie. So that might actually carry over the 1 billion mark easily.
Well,
but the question is, how long is it gonna be?
well,
it could
plus
be
the
like
marketing for this film has been like out of this world. The marketing
It's
for
been
this film.
insane. It has been insane. Like
This is some
there
of the
were
best
trailers.
marketing for a movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, considering
But I want
they
to
added.
know.
Yeah, good.
Oh, what I want to know is who won that Xbox.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
That's
controller.
what I
Yeah.
want to
The
know.
controller. Yeah, I would love to know that too. Because
Did you
those
see the
controllers
videos
look funny.
where Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were like playing with the controllers and like touching the butts and everything?
Really?
No,
Yeah,
I need to
You
look
guys
that
didn't
one up.
see
I
that?
need to see that.
I want to see that.
They pulled him out
Let's
of
see
the
if I
box,
can-
and Ryan Reynolds, I think he said something like snuggling pumpkins. That seems to be his thing, and it was just, it was funny to watch.
Yeah, there's shorts of it. Hang on.
All the swearing just sounds like Thanksgiving dinner to me.
Oh, some people are familiar with it.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
I found
barnyard
it.
explosion at your place, Samuel.
Hey Samuel, I posted the short in the private chat.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this.
My God, Ryan Reynolds looks old with gray hair. I just realized.
And then also,
And
like
most
me-
people do.
Yeah.
also
Goes without
thinking
saying.
about it is that that going back to Chris Evans, this is the second time Chris Evans has did a cameo with Ryan Reynolds, because he did, if anyone's seen Not the Fall Guy, Free Guy, where it's like Ryan Reynolds is like the computer or NPC character,
Mhm.
and then he uses Captain America's shield, and Chris Evans
Mhm.
watching, he's like, what the heck?
I actually
So-
made an edit of a She-Hulk episode and actually cut that bit into the video. He was like, "What the heck?"
There it is.
Somebody is all my kids have kind of seen everything and
They've never seen that quite like this.
this is
It even got pockets. I never realized that before.
like
100%. And it tastes just like the real thing.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It tastes like the real
Ew.
thing.
That, oh my god.
He actually was eating it.
And obviously they're authentically modeled, I assume.
Authentically
Somebody's gonna get
modeled.
a somebody's gonna get a controller with bite marks in it.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
I've always felt it was nice to not have feet, and now I know that is also true.
Oh my gosh.
That is so cute. I would love to see like a Fall Guys skin of now I'm just seeing those. It reminds me kind of like a Fall Guys and just have like a Fall Guys skin.
It does,
Deadpool
yeah.
with the snuggled pumpkins in the back there.
I don't know if you remember, there was a Deadpool game that came out like a couple of years ago for PlayStation and Xbox, and some people are selling copies of those games for like $300 on eBay now.
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
Or even
Oh my
more.
gosh.
It's
Well,
insane.
why not? Why not?
Well, gotta
That's way too
capitalize
much
on it.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Disney is going to have an event in Fortnite relatively soon where you can actually get a banana-shaped Wolverine backpack just for watching D23 in Fortnite. It is insane.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, do you have to spend V-Bucks on that, or is that just a
No,
given?
just watching it. And it's actually Fortnite exclusive stuff that you can watch there. So
I kind of want to do that now. I kind of want to just watch D23 on that, so I can get the skin.
I think I would love if they made like a pillow of those controllers as Wolverine and Deadpool with the that would be great.
with the shit with the butt.
With
Yeah.
the booty cheeks. Yeah, they
Dr.
just booty
Rachel.
cheeks.
Dr. Rachel, you got an assignment.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Dr. Rachel, can you make us some of those pillows, please? That'd be great.
Sure. Put it on my list.
I'm getting on my phone and sending you the money now.
Yeah, just make sure that they're accurate.
Yeah, they have to be accurate. They have to taste like the real thing.
Tastes like the real thing. Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Next
gonna get
video
in
clip,
trouble
Calvin's
if I have to
not
come up
biting.
to them and be like, "Hey, so I've got this art project and I need to make these taste like the real thing."
Right. What are the
Yeah.
ingredients? You're gonna go to Yankee Candle and be like, "Can you help me out? Help us this girl."
I mean, there have been weirder scented candles than that. I'll say this much.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say what kind of candles, but you can figure it out. Figure it out.
Gwyneth Paltrow can help you with that.
Yeah. There
Oh,
you go.
that's right.
Erica Badu as
Yeah,
well.
but
Erica
it-
Badu.
Explode, but it'll explode.
Wow.
Would it be? Never mind. I'm not gonna go with that. I'm not gonna say anything else because I was gonna
I
say
will
like
change-
I would probably do this.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
So he's like,
I
let me
will
interject
change
here.
the topic slightly with a question. Tabitha, did you know that they made a Deadpool 2 without any of the swear words? And did you watch
Yes,
it?
it is.
I did not.
Once Upon a
I haven't
Deadpool.
seen
Yes, they
any.
did.
I haven't
Once
seen
Upon a
any of the
Deadpool.
Deadpool because of reasons. So if
They made one that is sanitized, so you can
that-
watch it.
I love that
Po-
term, sanitized. I need. Yeah, I would love because I liked reading some back in the day. I read some comics that had Deadpool in them before they were a little more scandalous, and I really enjoyed Wade's character, especially when it was like crossed over with X-Force and he and Siren had like their little thing going on. I really enjoyed that, but and of course, as a Gina Carano fan, I would love to see Deadpool, but you know.
Hmm.
I
It's a
got my
shame
scruples. I
she
got my
wasn't in the third one.
scruples, you know. So, but if
One
there
can
is a
hope and dream.
sanitized version of that, somebody send it to me. I'll watch.
I don't know. We can find it. I know I know it exists, and also like they're probably get. Wait, aren't they doing that at Disneyland in California where he's gonna do story time at
He
the
does.
park?
Apparently, it's somewhat. It's like from what I understand, it's family friendly. Which is surprising just because of the fact that it's not surprising because it's at Disney, but it's surprising because of the character in the film. So I did read some articles where there was a little bit mixed emotions about having Deadpool's story time as a family event at at Disney because we were like, what's gonna
Considering that Deadpool is not exactly a family-friendly character.
Exactly. So, but it's one of those things where it's like trying to appeal to the audiences at Disney, at Disney World, Disneyland, whatever the case might be, because of course you have, because it's part of the Disney franchise, but it's not really like, it's not really like what we think of Disney. Disney's always been family friendly. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But why not? Why not?
I
And the
mean,
thing-
go
and I
ahead,
think-
Sevvy.
Oh, and I think that's why Ryan Reynolds said that he was surprised that Disney allowed all of the jokes and stuff they said. Not just, because they were inappropriate, but because they made fun of Disney hard and Fox for that matter. I mean, anybody. They made fun of everybody under the sun.
What I was hearing from different conversations with people, it was like, because that was the question. It's like, how in the world did Disney greenlight this? What was Ryan Reynolds' selling point? And there were some speculations that they were like, look, if I can get Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine, will you let me make this movie my way? And I'm on board with that theory that that's probably the only way that he was able to make this movie, because he's like, I can guarantee I'll get Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be like the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. as, Dr. Doom. It's like, but I mean, that's a whole nother thing. But just like this idea of like, because Disney, they need the money, obviously. Yes. And so, they were just like, you know what? Well, let's give it a shot. Let's just try it and see what happens. And well, did you say it was $900, almost $1 billion? Money well spent. Writing well.
And I think that was Ryan Reynolds' selling point to Disney's like, I can get this to $1 billion. And they're like, say less. Like, right. They're hurting right now.
Yeah. They need the money. They desperately need the money. They need a W, essentially. That's what they needed. And that movie is kind of a W. And I also failed to realize that the main bad guy was actually Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, so I know.
First watch, I was like, huh? Oh, yeah. But like after the fact, I was like, oh, yeah, it was Mr. Darcy, wasn't it?
It was Mr. Darcy. He did well. It's hard to get him out of like the mindset of like he is Mr. Darcy and he's like this agent of the TVA. I liked his character because he was like kind of sassy and sarcastic, and I like humor in guys.
He was unapologetically British in that movie. Let's just put it that way.
I find that most British are unapologetic.
Well,
for being British,
for the most part, yeah. Yeah,
the way that most Americans are, but that's a whole other topic too, because we ain't any.
Yeah, we
don't talk about that, fam. So we don't talk about
that. Jason, did you see the movie?
No, I want to see it. It's life's been too busy, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I enjoyed the first two, and it looks like a lot of fun. I've only heard good things.
Oh, it's really good. And then I would say wait till the end credits. There's a little bit of a scene.
Little payoff.
Yeah.
Little payoff.
Yes. So it's I don't want to spoil it. So I was gonna say something, but no. Yeah. But yeah. It's gonna be worth your while. If I was you, I would not see it in 3D because I did get a little sick watching it in 3D. So
me too.
just go with with caution.
Yeah, I just watched it on IMAX, not 3D. That was pretty good.
Yeah, save your eyes and watch it on a big screen without 3D. Trust me.
The costumes were amazing. The only quibble that I have from what little that I've seen all over the internet is that I know everybody got really excited the fact that Wolverine finally had his mask on, which is exciting. But to me, like it was so, especially when he pulled it on, it was so obviously CGI that it kind of just destroyed the magic for me a little bit. When it was on, I mean, he looked good. It's kind of neat to see it. But when he pulled it over his head, I'm like, this is disgustingly CGI. And I don't
The eyes were a little bit weird.
Yeah.
They were. But we can be glad that Hugh Jackman is not as egotistical as some other Hollywood actors and actually put this thing on. If you really think about it. Considering how other actresses insist of not putting masks on anymore and just have their faces revealed all the time. It is kind of refreshing to see that again.
I really like them. I really like the joke about Wolverine let himself go. He's only wearing this costume because he doesn't want anybody to see his dad bod and all that stuff. And then last scene, wow. And then Deadpool just got staring.
Part of me thinks that's CG though. Part of me thinks it's still CG, but maybe I'm wrong because I've seen pictures of Hugh Jackman.
Well, it could be contouring. It could just be makeup. It might not be CG, but it could be contouring.
I also love the comparisons between like when he first showed up as Wolverine and now. And that's the difference. Even if like there's a lot of contouring and some CGI in this one.
Don't get me wrong, Hugh Jackman still looks good for his age.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
The Jackman is jacked. Yes.
Yes.
One of the things that I learned that was just absolutely baffling to me was, and I learned this through, I think it was like Superman when his name is Henry, right? Henry
Cavill.
Henry
Yeah,
Cavill.
when he was talking. Oh no, it wasn't Superman. It was but it was still Henry Cavill when he was doing The Witcher. He was he had put in his contract how many times he could be shirtless, because in order for your abs to look that way, you had to be basically without water for a really long time.
Dehydrate
And I
yourself,
was
yeah.
like, Jesus fucking Christ, I cannot believe, like,
That's terrible.
I that's horrible. I get really cranky when I'm really thirsty. You know, it's like
Oh,
if
your
I
body
need
starts
water,
shutting down. And you get
yeah, if I need
headaches.
water, I need
Speaking
water
of which,
now.
Yeah,
Stay
Sandberg.
hydrated.
But Sevvy, it's forever. On film, it's forever.
It's forever.
I would not do it. I would not do it. I get really cranky if I like need water and it's too hot and I don't have it. It's just, and I just get really cranky, and it's just absolutely insane that they would do that. And I feel so bad for them,
Yeah,
because
that
I
seems a
know
little
there were a lot of
extreme.
people saying, "Oh, they should have a more shirtless like scenes of like them," because I heard it too about Wolverine. Oh, he should have more shirtless scenes instead of that one. And I was like, that probably was so painful for that guy.
Probably.
if
I
he
mean,
actually
I've
did it.
heard the same thing. Like Taylor Lautner was in an interview when he was, back in the Twilight days, as much as exercise that he was working out, and he was starting to be, he was growing up and starting to become this sex icon. And in an interview, years later, he was like, the exercise routines that we had to do to maintain a figure like that, he's like, they're not normal. He's like, they're not good for you. They're not the average kind of exercise in order to get that kind of physique. It's almost near impossible to get an 8-pack. And so when you have it, you are doing a crazy and extreme form of exercise that really is just targeting one specific look. It's not even for health. And that's the sad part. It's like all that exercise and not even for health reasons.
Yep.
It's literally
It's
just
sad.
for appearances.
Yeah.
And that's why I like practical muscles myself personally.
To piggyback what good. Piggyback what Sevvy was saying, because of the shirtless Henry Cavill scene, he also got pretty fed up with doing the short shirtless scenes for The Witcher, because he was wondering if the producers were a little bit too thirsty on the set. So he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do these kind of scenes anymore."
That's got to be awkward. Yeah, walking around shirtless like that, and everybody's just leering at you. They even forgot to turn the camera on, and they're like, "Are we rolling?" No, we are not.
We forgot.
Poor Henry can't catch a break, can he? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for him for saying that he didn't want to do any more of those. I can't even imagine how horrible that is. Yeah, it's probably 60% steroids. Let's be honest. Yeah.
That's why he's moving on to Warhammer, who just gets suited up in so much armor that it's impossible.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. Well, I
And
think
then
maybe
healthier.
because like Henry Cavill just does it for the art of film, or the art of whatever he's trying to be the character of, because he got sick from smoking cigars for 8 hours being in Deadpool for filming.
Little tidbit to that part here, and it's kind of a spoiler for Deadpool as well, so just be careful with that. That cameo was actually agreed upon within 15 minutes. So it was like a text message, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's go."
Nice.
That's so cool.
Those are real friends. Be like, dude, we're making this sick movie. I need you here in like an hour. What's my job? I'm gonna make you Wolverine. Cool. I'm coming.
They filmed the most of Deadpool 3 in England, so it was actually quite convenient for him, I think, at the time. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like smoking a cigar for 8 hours. He kept that cigar in his mouth all the time. That's why he got sick, because he got all the smoke coming into his body, and he felt like physically sick afterwards.
There is another actor. This sounds like a story of deja vu. I remember discussing this with somebody years ago, where there was another actor that did cigar scenes like this and got sick all the time because the character was known for smoking these cigars. I can't imagine that if you're not accustomed to that, how awful that's got to be. Like, because your mindset is like, okay, I've got to focus and be this character. Meanwhile, your insides are being torn apart.
I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio as well, because he wasn't like known as a smoker or anything. Well, he was playing like a smoking character, like
it might have
constantly smoking on a cigarette. I think it was like even for the Departed or something. But I could be wrong as well. So
there's probably a handful of actors who don't smoke of any form and have probably gotten sick, because if you're not used to it, I mean, it's
true. And on an unrelated note, I just shared a post in the private chat about Henry Cavill in this 40K series because that poor man can't catch a break.
Yeah.
He's got till December to get it greenlit, or it might get cancelled.
Oof.
How is it not
So-
greenlit with a person like him heading the way? Like,
Tabitha, Hollywood has been run by morons.
but
especially
we
Am-
know
Amazon.
that, but still, you've got this dude that for whatever reason everybody's in love with, and
It was real tobacco, by the way. Clue. So yeah.
Yes.
So he's got 5 months left to either have it greenlit or cancelled. And considering what Games Workshop has been doing recently to the lore and everything, Henry might not be too happy about the lore change, unless he's trying to play ball for once. But we can't say for sure. And he's a very passionate man. I don't know if you've follow him on social media. He's talking about Warhammer 40K all the time, and
you can't
it's
tell
like
me
his
this
little
man
passion
doesn't
project.
have the money to do it himself or hire a team.
Well, to be fair, his manager used to be the Rock's wife, and you know how that went. How that went.
No,
for
I
him.
have no idea.
The
Pray
Rock
tell.
and him, the Rock and him had the same manager, which was the Rock's wife.
Okay.
So you can kind of imagine that Dwayne Johnson got more roles than him because of that.
Mm.
And
Well,
some
yeah,
of the
but what does it
decisions
have
that
to
were
do
being
with-
made, and
Okay.
yeah,
But I mean, I would still think Sir Henry over here would have quite the cha-ching in the bank to.
you would think, yeah, he would. He does definitely does have more say in the 40K series than with The Witcher, considering that he wants to be an executive producer on the thing. And I think he's just fed up with the people just stepping all over him, especially after that Witcher debacle where he got swapped out for Discount Hemsworth. But
Oh
we
gosh,
just have
that
to
was
wait and see.
awful. That
that's-
discount,
that's-
that Dollar Tree Hemsworth was terrible.
We haven't even. I'm.
Hey,
moderately
it's
curious to
inflation.
watch the
Okay, he's
show.
worth $1.25 now.
I want
That's true.
New season with Hemsworth in mind, just to see how they justify the change.
Mhm.
You know.
Well,
Well-
go ahead, Tabitha.
I'm just saying it's kind of another. This is one of those conundrums too. Again, where I see that in the in the community where it's like we cry bitter tears over certain franchises because they decided to kill off a character because reasons instead of recasting a character. But then when you have a show that everybody loves and for whatever reason the main character's not there anymore, but they want to continue the show, so they recast, everybody's throwing hands. So I find a little bit of hypocrisy in some circles, unless there's some information that I'm not missing, which is very likely because I don't keep up with everything too much as other people. But it's like, it's hard. I mean, when you have somebody like Henry Cavill, that's a difficult person, obviously, to replace. Does that automatically mean that the show should be canceled? Or is it because it's Liam Hemsworth? Like, I haven't seen The Witcher. I don't follow it. It looks very interesting and everything. But like, is it because it's not Henry, or is it because it's Liam that people are upset?
It's not because it's not Henry anymore. There was some behind the scenes trouble with that show because the showrunners were actively going against like the source material, and they were actively mocking the source material, and Henry had to fight for certain scenes to stay in, or scenes to be changed because of that. And it's kind of sad that you have these people in Hollywood that don't respect the source material doing these kinds of shows, or actually not even bothering to read the source material or actually checking it out, and they're making movies or TV shows based upon it.
Okay. So Henry was basically the glue holding the show together to keep it true to its form.
Yeah, and they were just actively going against everything he wanted to do, and that's why he just got upset after a while. And he was like, "Well, if you don't play ball, then I'll just leave."
Look, I'm tired of taking my shirt off.
Yeah, essentially, there was one scene in season 2. I mean, minor spoiler for season 2, but there was a scene where the Geralt's horse is dying, and they wanted to actually make it funny in the show, and Henry was like, "No, this has to be a serious moment. It's his bloody horse that's dying over here. You can't just make fun of that."
Makes sense.
Despite, although there's this meme going on that Geralt calls every horse Roach because that's how he calls his horse, but still, the point still stands.
Well, I'm glad that you are very much into The Witcher. Smu, because I didn't know any of this back. I just know he had issues with being on Netflix, that they weren't allowing him to do like have the creative freedom that he wanted to do on the show.
There was even a petition that was started after the ramblings of Henry leaving was starting to essentially get the showrunner fired, and that actually got some traction. So yeah, but it was a little too late, and well, Henry moved on to other things, like having a little cameo in Black Adam as Superman, which was a little bit ill-fated considering that James Gunn took over. But yeah. Yeah, Roach dies, Americus. Sorry.
Roaches never really die. They always come back by the hundreds. So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He'll come back.
He'll come back.
Now, Jason, what do you think of all of this of like not having the creative freedom that you want to do for a show that you're passionately for, a book that you grew up reading, loving, and then it be taken away after it was given to you?
So what I've noticed, one thing I can mention is that I have never heard anything bad about Henry Cavill. Like I've never heard that he was rude to a waiter. Never heard that he was like a jerk, anything like that. I have no idea how he votes. He's absolutely wonderful. He's a great actor, and he seems like a nice guy, and he's not a scold. And so I want him to do well. And I've enjoyed everything he's in. I've watched the first season of The Witcher. I think I've watched it 3 times. Because, as I'm doing artwork, I have my iPad going and I'll just have something on kind of to keep me company. And I have watched the first season of The Witcher 3 times. I've only watched the second season once because to the points mentioned earlier, they began to use the Witcher story for their own purposes versus adapting the Witcher stories. And I find I empathize with a lot of people who like him as an actor and can tell that he likes the fans and wants to give the fans what they expect, whether it be Superman or The Witcher or the Warhammer. And he's consistently at odds with either the studios or Amazon about the issue of like, why are we adapting this if we're not going to adapt it? Which seems like an odd statement to spend all this money to license an IP and then to do a bad adaptation. I mean, the whole point is to do a good adaptation because you have a built-in audience that loves the stories, loves the lore, loves the world building. So give them what they want. So he is at a very unfortunate time because he's swimming against the stream, and the stream is to the current preponderance of conventional thinking is that the fans, the people, they're wrong. They're misguided. We're going to give them what we think they should have versus what they want. And he's just unfortunately at this weird crossroads. I hope that the Warhammer thing works out okay. I think that if he were to do something independent, if he were to do something perhaps even crowdfunding, and he was able to tell stories that were true, I think it would be a phenomenon. I think he would do fantastic. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. But he gives me good vibes. He seems like a good guy. I wish him the best. And it's just a weird circumstances that he finds himself at this kind of juncture where pop culture is inverted, where they don't think they should give people what they want. They should kind of scold them.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. Hollywood hates real men like Henry Cavill and real women like Gina.
Hollywood just hates its fans, which is weird because we're the people that are giving them our money. Like without us, they have no job.
Yeah, but they still can't make that connection. That's why they won't be true to source material.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine and why it's doing so well. It's exactly because it gives the fans what they want. A kind of a buddy cop movie with Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's why it works. Yeah, but I mean, I hope Amazon gets their crap together and actually abides to the guidelines that Henry's trying to make for the show. Part of me thinks it may or may not happen, but we just have to wait and see. If it doesn't get greenlit on Amazon, you should definitely go with the crowdfunding route. Maybe you do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever, what have you, and see how much money he can raise. And I think Henry's got a good social media presence, so he could actually market it pretty well. Even if he does it like a little tongue-in-cheek with a little bit of mocking of Amazon or anything or something like that, it could work.
I mean, if he would team up with Ryan Reynolds and get some tips and pointers from him, like, oh yeah.
Yep, exactly. There was another rumor going on regarding Henry, but I'm not going to say too much about it because it's kind of related to a certain movie we talked about, but that's not all I'm going to say to that. Because spoilers. But I do wish Henry all the best for his future, and I really hope this Warhammer thing will work out for him. And maybe it will be good, maybe it won't be. Maybe it's cheesy, maybe it's faithful to the source material. Who knows? We just have to wait and see. We've had like other adaptations from Amazon, like Wheel of Time.
Don't even.
Fan fiction of Power.
No, Wheel of Time sucked.
I don't.
Wheel of Time hurt me personally.
Yeah, that was too painful. It made me so mad. I watched it. I watched the entire season 1 because I was like, I loved the books.
Yeah,
it can't be that bad, and I was very, very disturbed.
like I knew it was going to be bad when I started seeing all the promotional stuff before the show, like a year before the show even came out. I knew it was going to be bad because you could tell it was all about race baiting, and then. When I watched I watched the first episode with my mom, got totally pissed off, and then just watched the second one because I'm like, well, maybe it just started badly, and then I just turned it off. I didn't even finish it because I knew it was going to get bad, and then I kept hearing from different people. It's like, oh, this happened. I'm like, that's not in the books.
I know.
All.
Yeah,
like they totally omitted characters. They omitted important scenes.
Mm.
They rearranged the story, and it's like there's a reason why all this happens. Now, I am aware.
Also, Rand just going through the ways himself without anybody. Like, really? No,
that's impossible.
No,
he was lost in there forever.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's like I hope you and that Black Wind have babies.
Yeah. What?
So, Sevvy, how did you manage to get through the entire season? I didn't even last an episode.
I was very, very angry the entire time.
It
was so bad. I was like, it has to get better. It has to get better. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, they totally besmirched everybody's character.
I could be an extra in that Highlander movie, but I am definitely not tall enough or fit enough for that movie. But that's a nice thought, you know.
Well, you could totally be Villager 17.
We'll get you some lifts.
Yeah.
We'll get you some lifts that you can wear with boots, and nobody will know that you're not tall.
Well, I can wear some Doc Martens.
You think everybody in Hollywood is the size that we think that they are?
I mean, look at Tom Cruise.
I was just to say, I've actually met Tom Cruise, and he's like, tall. I'm a good foot taller than that man.
He's not tall.
And then also it doesn't help that I'm a tall woman in real life, but but still, that I think he was like 5'8". I think he's 5'8" in real life.
Oh, I thought he was shorter.
I thought he was shorter than that.
Tom Cruise must be like 5'4" or something because he was playing Reacher because he was playing Reacher and he was too small for the role.
He's definitely wearing lifts.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What were you saying, Jason? I kind of caught you.
I saw Prince in real life, and it was awesome. It was awesome. But yeah, same thing as like Tom Cruise, where totally short.
Tom Cruise
totally not tall. But yeah.
So see, Smu, that you still have hope, even though
that's why it's called Hollywood magic.
I'm 5'6", so go figure. You know.
We'll get you some lifts, and we'll do some camera work angles to make you look taller than everybody. Yeah,
that's what they did in Thor. That's the reason one of the reasons they hired Natalie Portman, because she was so short. She made Hemsworth look taller and bigger.
Yeah.
Imagine hiring an actress just
to make the male look better. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Current Hollywood would never. They do the opposite.
Oh, Stunning and Brave. Nomi is a giant, Tracy. Allegedly, yes.
I am.
We can get you a step ladder, Smu, so you can stand on top of the step ladder when you do Highlander. When you're the Highlander extra, we'll give you a big cloak to hide the step ladder. It'll work out. This will be
Hey,
great.
they did that in Twilight with Jacob,
True.
with Taylor Lautner. They gave him things to stand on so he would look like he was like taller than Edward.
This is perfect. We got you. We got you the extra spot in Highlander.
As long as the code is not doing the Kenobi thing, where I'm trying to hide a little child underneath it and just pretend to not have a child underneath the code. That would be very weird.
Yeah, that
Pick
would
up
be
for your
weird.
principal. Yes.
So it was kind of funny you brought up that you watched the whole season of Wheel of Time, because I actually suffered through She-Hulk, and people kept asking me like, how did you manage to get through that season? I'm like, well, it's just more of a curiosity at this point. Because it was like horrendously bad. I was like, I have to see this train wreck to completion. That's how that happened.
I watched
actually.
the first episode of She-Hulk, turned it off, and it was like not gonna happen.
I think I watched.
Trust
2
me,
or
it doesn't
3
get better
episodes,
after
and
that.
I got confused. I'm like, what are they doing?
I think that the thing that forced me to watch the Wheel of Time season 1 was because I loved the book so much.
Mm.
That
And
I
this is
was
why
like-
I
Books are
didn't
very
finish
good, by
the
the way.
series, is because
I was like,
Read
it
the books
has to
instead,
get
chat.
better. I was an optimistic. I was an optimist for a change
hope-
when I was watching
you were
that,
hopeful.
and all my hopes and dreams were crashed.
they totally got every
Yeah.
character wrong.
Yeah, they did.
Moraine would never take a bath with Lan.
See, that's why I'm advocating
No.
for Brandon Sanderson to actually finish George R.R. Martin's books, because he actually finished A Wheel of Time. And
Right.
I'm
Yeah, that's
advocating for
true.
that man to finish Game of Thrones for Song of Ice and Fire for George R.R. Martin before he dies, because we all know that George won't finish his own bloody books. So
Hey, look, when you're rich and famous, do you even have to? What for? Like, you're like,
You pay
I'm
somebody
good.
else to write the book for
Yeah,
you
you
at
just
that
pay
point.
somebody else. I'm just gonna go live on a
Right?
mountain in my mansion, sipping my tea while somebody else does the work for me.
There you
George
go.
R.R. Martin was in my town 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my gosh, if someone would have told me he was in town, I would have found him and asked him, where are the books? Where are the books, George?
No,
I'm
don't
waiting.
ask him that. Anytime someone asks him that, it's got to be some kind of contract
When
or
it's
something. But
done.
I think he pushes it back a month. Like
Oh,
pushes
wow.
it back
Just
a
out of
week, say a
spite.
month every
If you-
time he gets asked.
If you really want to trigger him, be fretful and say, George, what if you die before you finish the books? That really
Wow.
makes him mad.
okay,
Okay.
Wow.
yep.
Now I'm
Oh, we all
motivated.
know
Animal
that. Have a
Now-
heart
mortality.
now-
Nomi's just
now-
gonna get a
have a heart
shirt that
attack.
says, "But what if George R. Martin dies before he finishes the book?"
I
that
will.
Way, that way, just in case you happen to spot him, it'll be right there. You don't
Mhm.
have to say a word.
Don't doubt that I'll do it, because I will. I will.
Teespring shop.
So what?
opens.
Here's a Twilight Zone episode. They successfully create AI for digital immortality. So before you die, they download your brain or whatever. So George R.R. Martin gets downloaded into AI, and so he's an AI immortal chatbot thing, but he still can't finish the book.
Still can't. Oh wow.
Oh
That
gosh.
hurt.
Before we continue, we have to say adieu to Sevvy. She has to mosey on off to another stream.
She has responsibility.
A busy lady.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me, and nice to see you again. I'll just watch the replay to hear what's up with your new stuff. Much love to everybody in chat. You guys know where you can find me, and I'll talk to all of you guys later. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye,
Bye,
Sevvy.
Sevvy.
Have a good
Bye, Sevvy.
night.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I had a question for you, Jason, and it slipped my mind. I am so sorry.
What a terrible hostess.
I didn't have my coffee. I haven't had coffee for a good week.
See what happens when you don't drink your coffee?
don't.
You forget your question.
I do. I do forget my questions. But we'll go into the next topic, which would be Warner Brothers and Suicide Squad.
Mhm. Oh, that was a doozy as well. Oh my
Yes.
Mm.
Give it to us, Smu. What's going on here?
So I don't know how much you actually heard about this game. The premise itself was already dead on arrival, because the game was a looter shooter, always online game that you can play by yourself or with 3 other people, so 4-player co-op. And the general idea is that the Justice League turns corrupted by Brainiac and actually goes rogue, and the Suicide Squad has to step in to stop the Justice League, which is a bit ill-fated considering a certain passing of a certain voice actor who had his last voice acting role in this game, Kevin Conroy. He actually voices the Arkham Batman in this game, and Harley Quinn shoots him in the head at the end.
Oh,
The fact that Batman gets shot in the head is rather disrespectful, and considering that it's his last voice acting role, is even more disrespectful in my opinion. And also, there's a very disrespectful scene where Deathshot basically pees on the Flash's corpse, and
Oh
they
my
make fun of. They even make fun of the size of. I think. No, wait, no, it was not Deathshot. It was actually Captain Boomerang who pees on the corpse, and they make fun of the size of his pee-in. And yeah, the game just kept on like getting delayed, and the press was not exactly favorable for that game. And Warner Brothers decided in the infinite wisdom to actually push the game out still instead of canceling it, which caused the game to actually give them big losses. So you have like 41% revenue loss just from the annual spending or earnings that they got just because of this game. Then they decided to bring out season 2 of the game, where they introduced Mrs. Freeze, as seen in the picture over here.
that she looks. I thought Mrs. Freeze was kind of hot. Like, who is this?
This is the current day version of Mrs. Freeze. A little bit
DEI
podgy
Freeze.
and DEI Freeze. Yeah,
Respect your pronouns.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, I have you know. Yeah, she's basically becoming a playable character in that game. And yeah, the studio that worked on this game worked on the Batman Arkham series prior to this one. So they kind of tarnished their own legacy with this game. And people actually played the old Arkham games when this came out, just to tell them, like, this ain't it, Chief. So they brought out season 2, introduced the Joker, and then Mrs. Freeze came out after that. And now they retconned the story beats a little bit. So basically, everybody of the Justice League that died in this main story was actually just a replicant or like an imposter. So technically, the Suicide Squad didn't kill the Justice League. So that's the plot twist now.
Wow.
And the thing is, that game flopped so freaking hard they won't even get beyond season 2. I would be shocked if they managed to get a season 3 out of this game, to be honest with you. Yeah, Asian lesbian DEI Mrs. Freeze. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
So I didn't play the game, but I absolutely heard about it when it broke. And there's in maybe like Act 1 of this story, there's a legit kernel of a story there. The Justice League becomes corrupted, and
Correct.
the government needs to do the Suicide Squad to set things right. If it had been the Suicide Squad goes on a mission to undo the damage that corrupted the heroes. Great story, great pitch, right?
Yes.
But instead, they said we need to go with tearing down what's good and what's pure and what's heroic, and not only that, but then we need to like grind the heel of our boot into it, right? Yeah. And that's where it's so current day. And it's so not interesting, and it's so not heroic, and it's also so not there's no dramatic tension, because there's not the fine, because there's so many stories you could tell within this premise of they're on the margin of going too far. Won't they, in terms of will they tear the Justice League back away from the current corruption, or will they kill them? And so many missed opportunities, and just the deficit of creativity and a lack of understanding about what heroism is and so forth. So not surprised that this happened. Glad that the video game players are sending a message.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't shocked by this whole thing, because considering what Hollywood considers heroes and villains nowadays, this doesn't surprise me one bit. And at the same time, I also have to highlight a chat that Dr. Rachel just posted here. This is also the game where Harley Quinn is in love with a childlike version of Poison Ivy.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I thought I saw something about that a while ago.
That was before the game even came out. That's the sad thing about this whole thing. And then you have on top of that, you have this weird thing where all the male heroes get crapped on by the Suicide Squad, and the only one that gets a respectful send-off is Wonder Woman. She's getting mourned by all the characters, and all the male characters get crapped on, all made fun of. But yeah, go figure. There's also some weird racist jokes in that game about Deadshot being black instead of white, because he was actually white in the Arkhamverse, but he's getting race swapped for this game, and they actually made an in-game joke about this. It is so freaking weird and tone deaf. I mean, if you scroll down, you actually have an image of the Joker that's in the game.
He looks so bizarre. Like his eyes are all wonky and stuff.
Yeah, whoever made the design choices in this game needs to get a slap in the face. I mean that in the most polite way possible.
Like he looks like one of those broken dolls, you know, where they wake up or you lift them up and the eyes are up, but like one eye is askew, like that.
It's like these dollar store knockoff figurines that you get from China. That's what they look like. And like I said, this is one of the most bizarre games that they could have made. The fact that they made a looter shooter out of this, and also like try to push this out of the door so many times, and even the marketing didn't help. The marketing made everything worse for this game. If I would have been like Warner Brothers, I would have done the Batgirl thing and just kind of entirely write it off, and that's it. Now they've got a 41% loss just because of this game. It is honestly pathetic.
This Joker even looks like he's way too young to be as maniacal and sadistic. Like he looks like he could easily be on the rough side of 23, in my opinion. And it's like, okay, sit down. You don't know enough about life to be the head honcho of DC villains.
This put eyeballs on this consulting company called Sweet Baby Inc. If you are in this, you probably heard of that company before. They come in to offer consultation work to improve your games, essentially. Improve I mean make it even worse than it actually is. And yeah, that's what it boils down to. This was the cataclysm of like, or the catalyst of like this whole ordeal actually happening. Yeah, the earnings have been decreased by 4%. So yeah, go figure.
Now, Jason, you being an artist, what's your take on this?
It's not menacing, menacing enough. And it looks like some kind of weirdo versus being the crown prince of crime.
He's not even voiced by Mark Hamill, by the way, in case you're shocked. But yeah,
I mean, he does. He just looks like somebody who dressed up as the Joker, you know, for Halloween, and
I mean,
has a wonky eye.
I mean, to be honest, he looks worse than Jared Leto's Joker.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I could say he looks worse, because I don't like the look of Jared Leto's. But this is just more of like, it almost looks like it's unrendered. Right, because the contrast is so light on this, like all the shadow work and everything. So that could just be, I don't know if this is an in-game shot or what the case might be. It would be very helpful if this had contrast to it with the shadows and stuff. But again, the issue with the eye, maybe there's a reason why his eyes are weird like that. Maybe because he's a little bit crazy. They did that on purpose. I don't know. But there's just something about it. He looks like he's been photoshopped onto a picture.
I was going to say, does anybody want to talk about this monstrosity right here?
That's what I'm saying with the ear and everything like that. He does it. It looks like somebody cut him out and then pasted him. You look at the hair, like the details of the hair. It's too chiseled. There's no wisps of fine hair on there, and so maybe this is just a really bad picture. I don't know, but like it doesn't sell like he said. King of
does look better.
And then not only that, the hair and the lighting of the hair doesn't even match the background, the room of the room.
Ambience.
Yeah. So
let's see if we can find a proper picture. There you go. I found a good found a good representation of what he looks like.
Okay.
Private chat.
I'd be curious to see what the difference would be.
Oh god, it's like very pixelated. Let me get a better image of him.
Like if this was fan art, I would give it a pass and say this looks good. But if this is made specifically by, you know, $1 million company, you know, with professionals, I'd be like, okay, it would be what my opinion is.
Okay, and then me being an eyebrow person,
I was gonna say, I just seen the eyebrows.
This annoys me like none other.
Well, it's more of like the edge here, because we all have this gap, right, between the eye socket, and then the top part of your brow bone where your eyebrow comes down. It is so close to where his eye ends. That's not normal. See, this again just looks like a college
Very
guy.
generic. Very generic.
A college boy trying to be Joker on Halloween and like doing a good job. This is like a good effort for a college boy trying to be the Joker. It's not good effort of trying to create the character that makes us all a little nervous. Like I could call this guy's mom and be like, "Hey, you need to pick Roger up because he's freaking the kids out." And what is with
this?
This
kind of look like that, yeah.
What is with this halo effect around the edges? Another cut and paste effort here. You see this gray line around him?
And this is supposed to be the accurate description of him?
This is the actual character model. Like,
is this in-game shot?
This is in-game. Well,
terrible.
They blurred out the background,
awful.
but this is the in-game character model.
Okay, why would you
That's
put gray
awful.
around him? You can distinctively see it around his hair. So bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is horrendous.
Well, what's bothering me about it's this shadow right here with his hair. No little wisp of hair like that would give that much shadow.
That much shadow. Well, because also there's like this white line right underneath that. So it doesn't like, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the game itself didn't do itself any favors with that. Like generally, like releasing these characters after launch, considering the game was already dead, they were hoping that they would recoup some of the lost players with that. Yeah, I hate to say it, but no, you failed.
Like, all the shadows are wrong too. Like you see that really strong beam of light on the side of his head, but it's not illuminating his ear enough. And then he's got these strong shadows under his neck onto his clothes, and then right behind the collar of his jacket is another strong shadow, which doesn't make sense because there's lighting from above shining down directly onto him. Yeah, he does look like Hot Topic Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Americas. You're not wrong.
Although, by the way, I mean, I think Elton John would approve of the costume, though.
It's very flamboyant.
Prince.
I give it.
Or Prince.
Yeah.
A lot of patterns.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, Jason, what's your take on the shadows and everything? Because you are an artist as well, so I know you already given your take on that. But what's your critique of all of this? Because this is giving me heartburn.
Yeah, so for video and animation, I think it's successful in terms of creating volume, but in terms of like a work of art and things like that, you're right. There's things that are wonky, and I don't. If you were watching this in motion, I don't know what we're seeing right now. I don't know how noticeable it would be. Right. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of wonky stuff when you compare the cast shadows on his head versus his shoulders and things like that. But in terms of creating volume, it does create volume. Okay.
Yeah,
well, unless you're shampoo, that's not what the people are asking for. So.
I mean, there's that saying, the bigger the hair, the closer to God, but this is far from God. This is
right.
This is an abomination.
He doesn't look Pentecostal.
This is horrendous.
So for me, the Joker is he's a special kind of crazy where he's predictable to the extent that Batman as a master detective and a strategist has difficulty foreseeing and countering what the Joker's going to do. That's why the Joker is a uniquely dangerous kind of threat because of that.
Yeah.
What they've been doing lately is they're like, okay, the Joker, what's his deal? Oh, he's really annoying. You would never be on a road trip with him. Let's just make the most annoying, cringy. And it's like that you don't understand it. The reason why the Joker's dangerous is because you don't know what he's going to cook up, and he's going to do something unexpected, like shoot Commissioner Gordon. He's just going to show up and shoot Commissioner Gordon, and that's why it's like and so the Joker will do complex schemes to make you chase your tail and things like that, and you're not quite sure if he's pretending to be crazy or if he is crazy. That's why he's dangerous. But they think that if you make him just icky, that's a successful portrayal of the Joker. So I'm checked out on it.
They missed the whole point. I think in the movies with Heath Ledger, as Joker. I think Alfred. I don't have it verbatim, but what they had Alfred say about him. You know, some men just want to watch the world burn. Like some people, you know, when Batman's trying to figure out what Joker's game is and what he's thinking, and Alfred's trying to tell him like there are just some people in the world that you can't figure out because they just want to cause chaos. There is no plan. And
Joker is an agent of chaos.
And when the way that they worded it was just perfect. The perfect, in my mind, description of the mind of Joker. You'll never understand him fully because, like you said, is he crazy or is he just a genius or is he just an evil, crazy genius?
I mean, if that Joker were to run up to me on the streets, I would just probably stretch my leg out to make him fall over as he's running towards me. Just make him trip. Because
he looks like somebody who works at
he looks pathetic. He just looks pathetic. So yeah, that's some creative decisions at Warner Brothers, and that's what's biting them in the butt. Essentially, that's why they're teaming up with HBO and Disney to make basically a new cable TV now, because doing like bundles and everything like that. I would like to do like free streaming services in one for like $45 or something like that. And people are essentially saying like, wait, isn't this cable? And people are like, yeah, it is.
Basically.
Yeah. I stopped watching cable a long time ago because there's no shows that are interesting to me. And if I were to watch those shows, there are other outlets for me to watch them. And but only one that I was kind of devastated at would be Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, because I'm a sucker for that. Because I travel a lot.
Guy Fieri is a great host of that show.
I was like, I want to go somewhere where I can just like see where he says, but you know, to eat. That's just, I like to get food recommendations. So I'm a huge like foodie in real life.
But that's what Instagram is for.
That is also that.
That's true.
And it's funny because where I live, there's a restaurant that I tried and wasn't too thrilled about it. And then a cousin of mine who lives several states away reached out like, hey, this restaurant is open at your place where you live. Is it cool? It's like, no, I don't like it. But yeah, so Instagram does the work versus cable because, you know, why am I paying like $80 for cable when I can just go on Instagram where it's free?
Yeah.
Well, it's essentially Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max teaming up for a bundle now. And it's like, I don't know, what was it? $60 or something like that. It's like something ridiculous. It's like,
yikes.
Well, it's like Amazon teaming up with Stars and Paramount and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah,
you just get like extra channels you can buy on Amazon Prime now, which is
because I mean one of the whole reasons that we started converting over to streaming was because we got sick and tired of commercials, and all these streaming services didn't have commercials. Now we're just full to the rim of commercials again and doing the bundle packs, and we're back to where we were about 20 years ago.
Yep. Ads everywhere. We'll never escape them.
Never.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about like the game industry and like movies and such like that. But Borderlands came out recently and it's not doing too hot in the box office.
Nope.
So Jason, I see you nodding your head. What's your thoughts?
So I've never played the game, but we did cover this on the Common Nerd Show a couple of months back when the first trailers were coming out. And I like Cate Blanchett. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
But she just looks tired in this thing. And I don't know anything about the story or the lore of this game or whatever, but she just looks tired, and I'm like, why did they do this? And that's my take on it. I don't have.
I hate to be mean to Cate Blanchett, but she's 30 years too old to play the character easily.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the character that she's playing is the fire siren. And she's like in her mid-20s, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a big difference. That's a big change. Then
most of the characters are way too old to play the characters they're playing. Essentially, that's what
especially they have Jamie Lee Curtis in there and Kevin Hart, all that stuff.
Yeah, Jack Black is playing the robot Claptrap as well, which he's the most annoying character in all of Borderlands, and he's being voiced by Jack Black. So yeah, that doesn't help either.
Okay. Wow. I read an article about this, and they were talking about how it's sad that you have this myriad of amazing talent, right?
Mm.
But that for some reason it's like it's a waste, like it's not a utilization of their skills. And they were particularly calling out Cate Blanchett and the fact that she's like we all say, she's a phenomenal actress, very talented, but yeah, it's almost like they didn't know what to do with her, or she didn't know what to do with the character that they gave her. So a lot of her screen time, she's just standing around is what I heard, and not seeming to have, I guess, a good direction of where to move with this character, which, obviously that's a huge part of the director's issue, because it's like you guide your actor, like, she can do anything. And you're telling this, well, you've spent this much money on this person to get her into this, and then you decide to just be like, well, let's just see what she can bring to the table. Now, I will say that I kind of disagree a little bit with the end of that review, where they were saying that it basically is reminiscent of Thor Ragnarok with her character Hela. I liked her as Hela. I liked Thor Ragnarok myself personally. I thought that it was fun. Yep. A little bit quirky for sure, but I thought it was fun. I thought she did an amazing job. Too much CGI for my personal taste. They could have done a lot. I think she could have done, like, it would have looked better with her if they would have had less CGI for her character with everything that she did. But nevertheless, I still think that she brought it to the table with the personality and the attitude. So I'm not sure exactly, since I like that movie, it's hard for me to make a different kind of distinction what they're trying to say. But yeah, apparently they've got this wonderful team of actors and actresses that just don't seem to know what to do with the characters that they were given.
The thing is, Cate Blanchett was the only one who actively went out of her way to buy herself a PlayStation to play the Borderlands games.
Oh, really? That's
yeah. It's kind of funny because she actually did bring it up in an interview, and she was like, "Yeah, I actually bought a PlayStation to play the Borderlands 2 and everything like that."
See, I want to see that on social media. I want to see a day in the life of Cate Blanchett getting ready for a movie. She's over at Walmart. She's at Target, wherever she shoots. She's like, "Okay, I'm here with my niece or my cousin or my nephew or whatever like that, and they are going to help me decide which system I need." And be like, "Oh, this one looks cute," and all this kind of stuff, and just like have a reel of her purchasing a PlayStation to get ready, and then watch her play the game to figure out the character. Like, why aren't these stars producing that kind of content? We would all watch that. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean,
what? That's probably why. Oh, go ahead, Smu.
Considering that Cate Blanchett looks so bored and out of place in that movie, I gotta give her credit that she's actually trying, at least.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis looks like she is totally checked out of everything that I've seen her in recently.
That's terrible.
In everything. She's got the same facial expression, and it doesn't help that she's mostly playing characters that are very bland nowadays.
Oh, yeah. What a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste of talent.
What were you saying, Dr. Rachel?
I was just saying that's probably why Cate Blanchett looked so bored and out of place, is because she went out of her way to try to understand the lore a little bit, and then she's comparing what she played to how they're trying to direct or make this, and she's like, "This is so weird. Like, my character shouldn't be doing this and this."
Yeah, she probably is in her dressing room being like, "Honey, I am too old for this role. What were they thinking?"
Yep.
Tommy and I, Tommy, my co-host who's playing games with me, we were making jokes about like Borderlands No Grannies Allowed edition. Basically, that's what this game is. So, yeah,
it looks like fun.
It can be fun. You just need to cast the right characters. I mean, Kevin Hart was a good casting considering he's playing Roland, who's basically the leader of the gang. So that was quite good casting. Although he's not exactly the slapstick character. Most of the time, that's actually Claptrap, but it kind of works, I guess. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't judge. So, and considering it's not doing so well at the box office and the critics don't necessarily like it that much, it speaks volumes about
at the same
movie.
time, we all know that you can't necessarily trust the box office all the time or the reviews.
True.
I
mean, just going into that, I mean, Nomi can go through the article, and essentially what it comes down to is that the reviews weren't exactly favorable to the movie, and it was situated between Alone in the Dark from 2005, and I think there was like another movie that came out like years later, and it was like in the low 5%. That's where it was situated, and it started with a 0% Rotten Tomato score. And thanks to Grace
Right.
Randolph that we just mentioned earlier, the score bumped up to 3% because she was given a favorable review. Shocking, I know.
It's a bit higher now. Like I've been following it all day since I woke up and saw that 0%. I'm seeing 6% critic score right now with 47 reviews and 51% audience score.
Ouch.
Okay.
Will we see some fortification for that score? I wonder.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Usually when both are pretty bad, then I'm like, okay, maybe there is some agreement here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had some shoddy video game adaptations in the last couple of years, but
yeah,
considering that people don't like this says everything, doesn't it?
That was another part of the article I was reading, which I tend to agree with. They're saying that it is difficult to translate a video game into a film. It is very rare that it ever comes off well.
Could you imagine Mass Effect working as a movie?
It should be well, that's the thing too. It's like I've heard it said as well, and I agree with this. Most video games, if they're going to be translated into some kind of cinema, it needs to be a TV show, because most video games are lengthy and they have side missions that affect the regular outcome and whatnot. So it's like, why not? Like you have your Witcher. Like if that would be a movie, it probably wouldn't do as well, because there's so much that you're trying to divulge about certain characters and whatnot. It's very rare. So it's like, I don't know why they don't just try. Maybe, I don't know if it's more expensive to make it into a TV show or not. Obviously, there's the other issue. Well, it's becoming more prominent now, but it used to be that you didn't necessarily get movie stars to be in TV shows. Although that seems like it's kind of changing now. And so I'm not sure if it would have been more expensive to have it as a TV show than instead of a movie. But I think we are all seeing for the past 10 plus years where there is a lack. Number one, a lack of creativity, a lack of planning, and just plain old laziness. It's just almost like, give me fast money, and it's not working.
And it also doesn't help that they always cast the same people for some of these things. I mean, Jack Black was in the Mario movie as Bowser, for example.
Listen, give him credit. They didn't have Patton Oswalt in this thing.
Oh, thank God.
That is true. That is true.
Here's my pitch here's my pitch for Tetris the movie. You ready?
All right.
Tetris the movie. It's the camera pans in. It's like an Amazon distribution center, and these guys are trying to get the different colored like packages onto the truck, and they're worried about losing their job, and the packages keep coming, and they gotta fit them on the truck and get them in just the right. And that's my pitch for Tetris.
I would watch it.
Scrambling to get them in there.
Like 5 minutes.
I would watch it. You throw a hot chicken there and somewhere, and it'll sell.
Yep. And the chick and the guy, they're competing, but they don't want to outdo each other because they've got a crush on each other.
Secretly
and so
in
they're
love.
just this is gold.
Oh man,
$1 billion.
You got your competition, you got your love story.
Yeah,
Sold.
just throw in a little bit of mystery in there, and I think maybe some action. Ninja somewhere.
The boss is
maybe
like,
a package explodes.
so you get and the boss is like, listen, whichever one of you has the fewest boxes packed, you're out of here. And so there's that's like the looming sort of Damocles. I think it's a great.
And in the end, they have to work together.
Is a pitch. Either do it like Squid Game, so the loser gets taken out, or do like a battle royale kind of thing, like the battle of Amazon warehouse workers, stacking as many packages as possible to make the highest tower possible.
And then like the winner, there's like you won. You get to go to building B or whatever, and then they go to the next level. And it's like the boxes are like bigger.
They get a raise.
Who are you casting for these two people and the boss?
Oh, it's gotta be Ryan Reynolds and let's see, who would be the female?
Ana de Armas.
Gina Carano.
Oh, okay. That was fun.
The weirdest, awesomest movie.
It'd be fun.
Former MMA fighter and Deadpool trying to stack boxes correctly so that they can get a promotion in the other warehouse. I like it.
And they can add a little Deadpool lore in there too, because Gina Carano was in the first Deadpool, and then he's like, you know, in another life, I think you had like punched me in the face or something.
Oh, maybe it's like a fever dream. Like in the beginning, it just like at the end of it, it just kind of goes into that old-fashioned shimmer thing with the harp sound, and it's just Deadpool taking a nap in the forest in a hammock.
Oh, I've been dreaming
He's
this.
just
Oh,
dreaming
okay.
about angel dust.
No, he gets an Amazon package delivery. That's why he was
There you
dreaming
go.
about
That's
it.
that's some meta
Ends with
commentary
that.
right there.
And he rips it open. And it's the Wolverine Origins movie.
Oh no!
Guys, I feel like we have our movie. Like, see, there's passion, there's creativity, there's humor. I think it'd be great.
That was
Oh,
just
I'm down.
brainstorming ideas.
I think it was just going to be the controller with like Hugh Jackman's
Oh
butt.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
there
you
we
go.
go.
It's gonna be like, nice. That's the end.
I
Cut to
know.
credits.
See, what Hollywood can just hire us like 5 random people on the internet, and just like we can make a better story than Borderlands, even though it's a
Right.
video game, has like a lot of lore.
We just made a better story in like 5 minutes. Look at
I
that.
think we could do it. All right.
But to go back to your message from earlier, Dr. Rachel, it's pretty much a ragtag team of quirky people. That's pretty much what Borderlands is. It's like a bunch of crazy people that work together to open a vault which contains a lot of treasure. That's pretty much what it is.
Who has a contact with Henry Cavill? We can just say like, "Hey, we have an idea.
Hey, if Warhammer doesn't work out, would you be willing?
Would you want to be an executive producer for this?"
We'll call it
Wanna be-
Amazon, the movie.
I mean, but think of the infinite product placement people. Think about it. All the companies that
yeah.
be like, put one of my put our brand on our logo on the packages, and because that would justify the different colors of the bricks boxes and
Warehouse Wars.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Could do it in the style of The Office. It could totally work.
Like a sitcom. Like, I don't know about this. Yeah, but Henry Cavill has been wasted as an actor, in my opinion. Like, he has so many roles where I was like, he could work actually. And then you have him cast as like Sherlock Holmes in the Enola Holmes movies, and
Ugh.
he looks so like he was over it in those movies. He was like way too buff to be like Sherlock Holmes as well, still, because he was like having his like Superman bod still. It's insane.
Hey, nobody
Like,
says that Sherlock couldn't be shredded in his spare time.
true.
That's true.
Early in his career.
Yeah,
I don't think he could have been because didn't he like? I'm trying to. I never read any of the books or anything, but I feel like there's something about Sherlock did a lot of running.
He
Well,
did, yeah.
Well,
So
He's a
he
cardio
would-
expert.
he also did some, I think, cocaine
Yeah.
on the side that helped him think. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, cleared the mind. He was too busy
Yeah.
practicing the violin to be shredded, I guess. But you know what? Is an alternate universe. In this universe, Superman is Sherlock Holmes.
He's Cavill is like Brolock Holmes, you know. Brolock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
man, we got like a good amount of people here, just like us panelists, just coming up with ideas and we
per
can write a
day.
story. We
Well,
can write, and then go ahead, Tabitha.
I was just saying, like, speaking of the stories, I am super curious. I don't know if you were saving that till the end or not, but like, what is Jupiter all about, if I might ask?
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Amazing that you're asking about that, Tabitha, because I actually have it right here.
Oh, okay. Because I did go to the Indiegogo. I just didn't have a lot of time to do all the stuff. And I was like, oh, look at the colors.
So Jupiter is my comic book. I'm the writer, artist, illustrator, colorist, letterer. I did everything.
Wow. you're
And
the
it's 40 pages full color. And what you see here is the Indiegogo campaign. It ran last May through July, and so the campaign funded. Indiegogo has a funding period, and then it goes in demand. And so basically, I crowdfunded to do the print run, and I fulfilled the 200 plus backers. So now it's basically just a storefront. So if you, as we talk about this book, if you're interested in this book, if you put in an order on Indiegogo, they ship the following day. It's only $5 shipping and handling for backers in the United States. So this is 40 pages full color. It's a one-man anthology comic. So it's 40 pages, all stories by me. There's a main story, which involves this character here. I'll tell you a little more about her in a bit. But then there's also some short stories. and some one-page strips and some kind of surrealist stream of consciousness strips as well. So it's 40 pages, and it provides me this huge canvas. I got 40 pages, no corporate control, nobody telling me what I can or cannot do. So I am taking my my decades love of the comic book medium and using that to fill those 40 pages. The basic premise of Jupiter is it takes place in a world without superheroes. There's superheroes in comic books inside that world, like Captain Kleinbottle here, but it's a normal universe, so it's not overcrowded like the the Marvel comics right now with the X-Men and the Avengers. There's too many heroes. They're just standing around half the time talking. So this is a square one. The unique proposition is it's a square one universe. There's nothing magical, nothing with superheroes, and it centers on this young lady here named Brenda. Her parents have taken her to a cabin in northern Minnesota to get away from a family tragedy. They're trying to reset their lives. And I don't tell you exactly what that tragedy is, but there's clues in the story that will help you figure out what that tragedy is. I go into more details in the second issue. But while they're up in a cabin, they're on a hike, and this hole opens up in reality, and a civil war, a coup, a revolution in a neighboring dimension, like smashes into this otherwise normal world. So this family encounters suddenly there's a hole in reality, and the magical, the sword and sorcery, all kinds of craziness just careens into their life and resets everything. This will set off a chain of events whereby this young lady will become her world's first, only, and greatest superhero. There's no other superheroes. She will, in some extent, model herself on the comic book characters in the universe, but she's going to be the only superhero. There's going to be threats coming towards her because of what happens in this issue. So there are she is going to she wants in this first issue. She wishes she could run away. She wants to get away from her family, not because there's like abuse or anything like that, but there's this sadness that's hovering over the family. She's the kind of person that wants to fix things, and she's extremely frustrated because she can't fix her parents. Her parents are they're going through something. She can't help them. She feels trapped. She wants to run away, but she's too responsible to run away. As a consequence of this issue here, she's suddenly going to be able to go anywhere. She can run away. She could never have to deal with family baloney anymore, never have to deal with homework, never have to get a job. She could go anywhere in the universe. But she's posed with a deep question, fight or flight. Does she run away or does she stay and fight? Because as a consequence of this first issue, threats are going to begin to mount and invade the Earth, and she's going to slowly become her world's superhero. Okay. I did all the art in the book, and so this is issue 1. It's available now. I'm about halfway through issue 2. So the campaign is approaching 10,000, which is the 5-figure milestone. So I said to myself, it's going to be a couple months before issue 2 is ready. Why don't I get out there and recirculate, connect with people, find more readers to get this campaign to 10K? And that way I've got more people who are familiar with the story, invested in the story, and will be more likely to pick up issue 2. So I can continue to kind of spread awareness of the book and get more people on board. So reach out to you and thank you for having me on. If you want to watch we could watch a bit of the trailer on the campaign. Ooh, because it has animation from the book. So I took panels from the comic and I used Adobe Animate to make the trailers. So if you want to watch a bit of that, we can watch it and you can see what the art style is, and just kind of see like the different styles I'll work in. Like for instance, this is the comic book within the comic book, and this is like the normal world, and that storytelling, having a diegetic comic book experience in the main comic book lets me kind of change my art styles and move things around. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. Well, I have your video popped up right here, but I know one of our panelists needs to skedaddle here. And that'd be Tabitha, because she ran out of coffee.
I ran out of coffee. Something's come up and I'm just I need to head out, but thank you for having me here. And Jason, best of luck on your campaign. And that's amazing work. The fact that you're doing everything is like hats off to you. That's amazing. So best of luck with the rest of your funding. It's amazing. So, but thanks guys. I gotta go.
Okay. Bye, Tabitha. Get your coffee. feel better. But yeah, no, I got your it right here. Let me just find it. Here it is. Here we go, kids. Ooh.
Pretty cool.
And this is this little bit right here is one of the kind of surrealist stream of consciousness stories that's in the book. So this is actually a six panel story. But that previous clip, that was the alien dimension that where the revolution breaks out, and just to kind of give you a look at what that world looks like and how the two intersect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the more I'm seeing this, I really like your artwork. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's fun to be able to do stuff that's kind of like fantasy, and then do stuff that's more surrealist, and then do stuff that's kind of run of the mill, like regular the regular world. It's fun to be able to mix it up.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind the surrealist clip that we're seeing here? Was there like a certain inspiration to it, or did you just want to like take a spin?
Yeah, it started. I wanted to. I always love the intro credits to the Twilight Zone.
Oh
and where with like the window coming down and shattering and the things. So I kind of wanted that dreamlike quality. And then I wanted it to look like a De Chirico painting or a Dali, like a 1930s Dali landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to kind of make it feel like that. So that was kind of the premise. And then I got into, what specifically would that mean? And so I had the bicycle with the clocks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I can see the inspiration behind that for sure.
Yeah. Do you mind if we continue watching?
Yeah.
So Tetris.
There you go. Coming full circle.
Like a microcosm within a microcosm, right? That's the idea behind this one, right?
Yep. And this one is kind of guerrilla marketing. Like the idea is like you don't want to spend money on bad comics. So the game of comics is you don't buy the bad ones. So as this guy like shoots him and is like, I'm not going to buy that one, you can see he's saving more money. And then obviously at the end, my comic book shows up. So this was a fun one to do.
Okay. That's so much fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. those are all panels from the comic that I got to animate in Adobe Animate. And so the campaign is we you know, it's in demand, so it's basically available. That Indiegogo site is now like a storefront. And we did hit our stretch goal. So everybody who backs will get when you buy the book, you will get an official Legion of Memers license to meme. So if you need meme checkpoints and you get past the meme police, you'll get this as well. I partnered with the Legion of Memers to get this to you all, to get to you all. It's nice, thick plastic, and you can put it in your wallet, put it in your purse, and you can clear any meme checkpoints.
Nice.
Cool.
So thank you for having me on. I hope people will take a look at the campaign, enjoy the animation, take a look at the book, and check it out. You don't need to be a regular comic book reader to get into this. Enjoy it. It's a very it's a fresh take. It's a fresh take, clean slate. There's no baggage, and I think you're gonna like it.
Cool. And how long ago did you come up with the concept of Jupiter?
So I did Jupiter in the 90s as an independent black and white comic. It was distributed through Diamond, ran 9 issues. It was one of those things. It was like critically acclaimed, but I had no marketing budget. So Diamond, who's the comic book distributor for North America, they liked the book, and I worked with them to try to connect with stores. And everybody who bought Jupiter in the 90s kept buying it. Every issue, they kept buying it. The sales never went down, but the sales, I couldn't move the needle. I couldn't get the sales up. And so, being like in my late 20s, I'm like, you know what? I'm at the age where I've got to do the stuff you got to do in your 20s and early 30s, right? Get married, get a house, stuff like that. So I put it on pause. And then going forward to about 4 or 5 years ago, suddenly crowdfunding is now, viable. Crowdfunding is now viable, right? So it's more direct than the direct market. You're going directly to customers and readers and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? I still love comic books. As you can see my shelf behind me, I still love them, and I still read them. I was doing other kinds of art like painting and so forth. But I said, I really want to do this again. And now there's a way to do it. So that started the ball rolling. And it took me about a year and a quarter, year and a half to get this issue all put together. And the deal is I had to do all the world building and figure out the color palettes and things like that. And that's really, it's just been like the past 3 years where it all came together. And then last year, the campaign launched. And unlike a lot of crowdfunders, I get the book like 90% done before I launch the campaign, because I don't want you to be waiting for it. So I think the whole campaign from launch to fulfillment was like 109 days or something like that. So I'm working on issue 2, and that should be available sometime probably Q1 or Q2 of next year. So I'm just kind of making the rounds, but I anticipate subsequent issues like 3 and so forth, it should come quicker. My goal is to get it so I'm putting out 1 a year, and then when I'm able to retire from my day job, then I'm just basically doing this 3 times a year. But by then, obviously, I've got to get the book out there and find readers, get people who are excited about it and want me to continue the story. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's been the past year has just been like a whirlwind. Meeting people, finding people that they're excited about the art and the story, and like other creators. There's some amazing people that I've met the past year and been on either through live streams or coming on the show I do on Fridays. There's such quality work being created out there. It's amazing. If I could walk into the local comic book shop and see the quality and the variety of what my friends are doing, it would just be a totally different world. So having just a wonderful time, very excited and grateful that live in this age where we can do like crowdfunding, and we can go on shows like this and have laughs and meet people and get eyes on the project. So very, very fortunate times that we're in.
Do you have any advice for like upcoming artists, how they can get the ball rolling?
My recommendation is if you find joy in doing it, keep doing it, and do a drawing, do a page, do something, set it aside for 3 or 4 weeks or a month, and then look at it with fresh eyes. And that will inform your next phase, your next iteration. When I look at work that I did like 10 years ago or whatever, it's like, oh man, I can see some merit in it, but it's like hard to look at. So accept that Except that you always have to be getting better. The only thing that's going to keep you moving is that you love it. But you have to look at your past work and learn from kind of the warts and the mistakes in order to get better. And that can be hard. That can be hard. And just if you feel, and I think the way I describe it to a lot of people is I'm an artist because I can't not be an artist. Like I can't not do this. So that's why I do it. Nobody's forced me to do it and or anything like that. I'm not doing it to be popular or to be famous. It's because I have to do this. So that joy and that excitement is what has to come through, and that's what keeps you moving. So if you have that in your gut, just keep working on it. Just keep working on it, but then look at your past work and learn from it.
Yeah, it's important to look at your past work, even though you cringe at it sometimes, considering you're like improving your skills and you're like, my God, I used to be terrible at this. But I can see that being an inspiration as well, because you're like, well, I actually improved my skills, so maybe I can do something with that. So I think it's a very, very good advice to people in general. Like, look at your past work, even if it's like writing or anything like that, or like video editing. And I think it's some good advice that you give there.
And we live in a great time because like just with the animation, a year and a half ago, I knew nothing about animation. And so I spent like a month just learning Adobe Animate, and it was hard. I mean, just like learning anything new, it's like a headache. But but with what you can find on YouTube and things like that and tutorials, you could do just about anything. So don't get discouraged by the news. Don't get discouraged about the state of affairs of the world. Look for those things that you can do incrementally to learn new skills and discover new things. And just, if you want to be creative, it is the best time to be creative, and don't be discouraged and keep following your passion.
Yeah, digital, like the technology is advancing so quick, so it makes it a lot easier to get your art online as well. So you can actually work on it much quicker. You can easily erase something or improve upon it.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of the digital age that we're in, that we're actually able to, be more creative in a way, right?
You can, if you're an Adobe Illustrator or Fresco or Photoshop, because you can do layers, you can take some risks, and then if you don't like it, you can go ahead and delete that layer and go from there. When you're working with a paintbrush, if you do something wrong, it's harder to fix. So it does. The other thing is that because the barrier to entry is so low now with digital technology, there's just so much art out there. So that's the other unique challenge, is just getting everybody's so overwhelmed with stimulus, getting people to take a few seconds to look at what you're doing. That is also a challenge. So accept that as part of the challenge. That's part of the challenge. And I'd rather have that than have, 3 television channels or whatever we had when we were much younger.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it nowadays, that you have like the tools available, and they could do this stuff, and you have like a broader audience you can reach thanks to the internet now.
Yep,
that's the cool thing about it, and that's why I'm actually quite grateful that we have the internet. So it gives us this opportunity to actually share our work out there, out with the people, and actually say like, "Hey, look, this is me." So putting yourself out there and actually saying hello to the world in a sense, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
You're late, Jose.
Nomi, I think you might be muted.
Yep, you're muted.
You're muted.
Uh-oh, technical issues.
Were you saying terrible? She was saying terrible things about us, so we'll never know.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we can hear.
Which is weird. I turned off my camera for like 1 second and then everything resets. Sorry about that, guys.
No
but yeah, what I was asking Jason was not hating actually, but it's more of like, what artists do you look for in inspiration? Like, what artists inspires you, and how do you like to make your medium in that?
So my biggest inspirations are Jack Kirby, John Byrne, John Buscema, Scott McCloud, Mike Barron, Mark Millar, Alan Moore. Those are the creators that I think have had the most influence on me. And if I'm trying to like strike a tone, or if there's something to aspire to, that's what I'm aiming towards. Do not know if I'll ever get anywhere near their level of craft. but they're the ones that are unique, and that their work is different from everybody else's and has a unique spark, and it has something that I identify with.
Okay. Nice. Now, what are you like? What are one things that you think you can improve your art, or like where you think you can, like how you said that Adobe is harder for you? What would be the next challenge and the next step for you to overcome something?
A question: can you hear my son yelling about his bedtime right now? Can you? Is that coming out? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I apologize.
No, it's
No,
okay.
that's fine.
No worries.
Don't worry about it.
I got some little cousins I have to fist fight sometimes when I babysit them, so I totally understand.
All right. Sorry, well, he is not. It's hard because it's summer, so he's going wild west. He's going feral. He's going feral on us during the summer vacation.
Man, that summer he can get you.
So the in terms of challenges, I think right now the biggest challenge is just studio time. It is because I'm in the zone. Things are clicking. The work is getting incrementally better. I'm excited about the story and the plot twists that are coming, because I've got basically 20 chapters all mapped out. Now those 20 chapters might become 15 or 10, because when I go through the next draft, when I get to issue 3, the next 2 chapters might become like 1 chapter, because I want to make the story as dense and intense as possible. But regardless, I've got a good long-term plan, and so I feel good about the story, excited to share it with people. So I think the hardest part is taking care of like the day job stuff and everything else, and then getting that time to be like in the zone and work on the actual story. I think that's the hardest part is just the studio time, and then just basically looking at the work, letting it breathe, looking at it with fresh eyes, and kind of doing fixes and things like that. I do everything on it. So what I'll do is when I've got like a good solid draft of like the line art and the text, I'll print off a few copies. I'll give them to people I trust and say, take a look at this, see if the story beats make sense, see if the tension is there, see if you're surprised. Let me know if any of the faces look wonky, because when you're looking at a drawing for like several hours, it's like when you look at a word for too long, like you take a book and just stare at the word and say the word like 10 times, it starts to kind of lose that coherence. So what? That can be true with art. So it's good to not look at it for a while, and it's good to have somebody else take a look at it and say, hey, that eye looks like it's a little bit too high or whatever. So those are things that like every artist needs, just as a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's like getting some unbiased like feedback from other people as well, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's all you can really ask for as an artist, like honest feedback, even though it's not necessarily like from people but at least you get some sort of feedback, even if it's not necessarily the most positive thing, but it helps you like evolve as an artist, and also maybe consider things you haven't considered before as well. So every output is welcome usually.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now we're going to be wrapping up the show here in a minute, but is there any last minute thoughts or any upwhelming besides the upcoming project you have right now with Jupiter? Is there anything else that we can look forward to coming from you?
So I'm most active on Twitter. On Friday nights, I do a show called The Friday Nights at 10 o'clock Eastern, where myself and 2 other indie creators will have a 4th guest on, someone who's got like a rotating panelist, and then we'll cover 3 news topics that were overlooked by the news of the week. Important things like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile crashing. The police officer who got arrested for shoplifting. We cover very, very, very important stories, not the typical stories covered by most news podcasts. And then obviously I'm working on Jupiter issue 2. So stay tuned. You'll see that sometime in 2025, I'll launch that campaign, and then just keep on trucking.
Nice. And what's that other channel that you go and talk about these non-breaking news channel
Yep.
stuff.
So it's my friend Mad Ruth's the Dark Lord Mad Ruth's channel on YouTube. I stream it to my X account and he streams it to his X account, but it's called the Friday Nights, and that's nights with a K, and it's 10 o'clock Eastern every Friday night. And you all are welcome to come on the show. I just hit up Craig Mad Ruth. He does the scheduling, so we like to mix it up. So we'll sometimes have like a tabletop role-playing game person or a novelist, just kind of mix it up a little bit, but largely we'll focus on indie comic people.
Nice. Oh, well, let us know. We'd be interested, or either each individual us will just shoot us a message. We'll talk more about it. But no, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jason. It was a blast hanging out with you again, because it's like my third panel or third shows that I've been with you hanging out. I know you've been passionately working hard for Jupiter, and it looks like it's coming full force into being fully funded, and I'm super excited for you on that. So are you gonna pop a bottle of champagne when you hit that milestone?
Yeah, we'll celebrate when we hit 10K. That'll be because it's good. It's good just to have the bragging rights and gives some additional eyeballs and additional attention on the campaign. So thank you for having me on, and thank you for all the laughs tonight.
Dude, yeah, no, I love our little mini segment that we had here, just like story building about Tetris at a Amazon warehouse. I think that
that was fun.
Yeah, like you could totally build up a story on that. Just it's called focus groups. This is like what I talk about the most when I'm on other shows, like focus groups, guys. Like it doesn't take a lot to bring a group of people and just like shoot out ideas, and everybody gets credit at it.
Yeah, if you do a monthly or quarterly show on Dames and Dorks called Pitch Room, I would love to be a recurring panelist on Pitch Room, and we can try to build a story from
that would
from
be
the ground.
really fun.
Keep me on the short list. Keep me on the short list for that idea if you make that a theme show.
Okay, pitch list. I like that. Look at you, Jason. Like giving us ideas and all. Of course, we'll all give credit. But yeah, like that's not a bad idea. We love to hang out with friends who have cool creative minds and are just chill people to hang out with. But yes, and then what's your Twitter handle before we take off?
Yep, it's Jason_Sandberg.
Okay, cool. And then I know Smu the DJ has been posting your links on the chat, and then you are listed in the description of the video. So anyone who's watching right now on the Twitch side and on the YouTube side, thank you so much. I hope you go and give Jason a follow. Jupiter is coming out pretty soon. He's almost at that 10K mark. Give our friend a like and subscribe on his channel, and feel free to check out his work. You got some good stuff coming in. Before we take off, Smu the DJ, do you have anything coming up later the week or the next week for you?
Well, I'm currently working on some soundtrack reworks for the game Stellar Blade. I actually just released a playlist with like 8 songs. So on the main channel, I'm going to post the link right here in the YouTube chat. It's there's going to be like 12 songs roughly, and I'm going to be releasing a compilation with all the songs in one video by Friday next week. Usually you can find me here on Dames and Dorks on Thursday. Sundays I'm usually playing with my friend Tommy on with a little bit of Final Fantasy 14, or sometimes I mix it up a little bit and play other games with him, and a rotating panel of people that we play games with called Team Play Tuesday, where we play other games like First Descendant or Borderlands 2 back in the day, like 2 or 3 months ago. And yeah, sometimes you find me on random streams with Nomi as well when she's playing Fortnite with Dreaming Tabitha and other people. And yeah, just keep your eyes peeled on my Twitter page at DJ Smu. That's where I usually post my announcements of where I'm going to be and what I'm up to. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Dr. Rachel, what you got going on, girl?
Not too much at the moment. A couple smaller art projects going on right now. One I'm doing for you, Nomi, which you know all about. So finally I finished my dragon egg. For a reminder, it looked like this.
Yeah.
Great egg.
And if anyone would like me to make them an egg, because I have extra stuff that I could make another one, let me know. Anything I'm doing, I post it on Twitter. So catch me, Soren_cosplay. check out my art channel, Adeline Crafting, for whatever I have coming up next. So currently, it'll be working on Nomi's wonderful prop, which is going to be fun. And otherwise, my partner in crime, Jed, Hollywood Scholar, the shirt.
I've noticed.
He's working on a book called Palace, and we just got in some test copies. I've been doing the art for it. So this is the cover.
Ooh.
Really nice, called Palace. So if you're really into fantasy and sci-fi, that's mainly what this story is about. So be on the lookout for that. He's just Jed is currently looking at options for publishing right now. But I did I'm working on art piece number 5 for this, so that should be the last one, but it is really cool. It's a great story. I am a little bit biased, but I really did enjoy the story, and I'm not really much of a sci-fi person, so I think that's big praise already. But yeah, so I'm working on the art for that. My next video will be working on Nomi's piece that I'll be doing. And then anything else I have going on, like I said, I post it all the time on Twitter.
Good stuff. Good stuff. As for me, you can catch me on Kick sometimes, what Smu was saying. I usually play with Dreamy Tabitha if we're not having a crazy couple therapy banter with each other. We usually play Fortnite or other games, and Smu hangs out and just kind of is like the in-betweener, like, hey, all right, children, calm down. So you can catch me on Kick at Nomiwithoutyou, and also on Twix at Nomiwithoutyou. Every Thursdays, you can catch me here doing this with my awesome friends and awesome guests here. This coming Friday morning, Saturday morning, I guess, I will be Saturday. I will be over at Devil Made Me Do It's channel on Be Hazel Pub. I will be doing a donut eating contest with Dermy Wormy.
Good luck.
I can feel a diabetes building from here.
Yep.
So looking forward to it, because when last I saw Dermy Wormy was in Vegas in April, and we went to this all-you-can-eat Brazilian steakhouse. He had 13 plates. I had 21 plates. So he's trying to redeem himself in how much food he can eat. I was like, good luck, because I'm just a girl. So he has 6 bags of little powdered donuts. I'm going to, like, 2 of them, get 8 bags of donuts.
Then he's going to surprise you with 10 bags.
I know I gave away my position here, but we'll have to see. Just tune in. I'll retweet it for sure. But that's where it'll be Saturday morning, Friday night, whatever time zone you're in. But I'll tweet it so you can come follow and watch. Thank you so much to the chat for hanging out and being the chatty chat people that you are. Do you have like a hollow leg or something, Nomi?
Powdered donuts are rough because you got to drink something, and that fills up your stomach more. That's brutal.
I like challenges. I like that Brazilian steakhouse that we went to. They charge the sparkling, and they only serve sparkling water, or you can get tap water.
Okay.
I chose to opt out of the sparkling water because it's like $10 a bottle. So I had a rough eat that food dry. So I am prepared, guys. I am very much prepared. And then, yes, I am like 6 feet tall in real life. Or not 6 feet. I am 8 feet tall. So
Canon.
Yes. This is just a snack. The 10 bags of donuts is just a snack to me, guys. It's nothing crazy. But tune in. You're in for a treat. Like I said, thank you to the chat for hanging out. Dreaming Tabitha, Sevvy, who took off. Lily will be back next week. She is taking a little bit of time off. But thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us here at Dames and Dorks. I hope you have a good Thursday evening, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.